Hello, my name is Jim Golding, President of Geneva Rock. At any given time, on any given day at Geneva Rock, thousands of pieces of equipment and machinery are operated by our skilled employees. You may be an employee who commutes to work in a company vehicle or operate a D11 cat dozer in the gravel pit. No matter where we work in our great company, it is our personal responsibility to be safe and to make sure ourselves, our fellow coworkers, and the public return home to their families safely each day. When we leave home in the morning, begin a job or task at work, or even a project at home, keep safety on track. Before every job, stop and think through the task. Recognize the hazards, assess the risk, control the hazards, and keep safety first in all tasks. As many of you know, I have just outlined our daily T.R.A.C.K meeting. T.R.A.C should become a habit in all that we do. Let me illustrate with a true story how keeping safety on track becomes a habit or in your DNA. 34 years ago, I accepted a position at Geneva Rock and moved my family from Evanston, Wyoming to Riverton, Utah. I enlisted the help of my two nephews, Andy, 16, and Howard, 14. I borrowed my brother's 1974 Datsun pickup truck to help with the move. We packed my brother's pickup to the top of the cab. I secured the load with a heavy canvas tarp, ropes, and a dolly lashed to the top. My nephew Andy drove the Datsun and I followed close behind in another pickup. I followed him onto I-80 westbound, not anticipating what might happen in a few minutes. Just west of the Wyoming-Utah border, my nephew overcorrected and rolled the truck. I pulled over in my pickup and stopped the traffic as quickly as I could. I ran towards the wreckage, praying that I would not have to tell my sister that her sons had been killed. Before I could reach the upside-down pickup, these two young, tall, and lanky teenagers had already exited the truck. To my astonishment, the only injury was a minor one. My 14-year-old nephew, Howard, had a small piece of glass in his elbow that was easily removed at the emergency room. As I questioned my nephews, I found to my amazement that before we left the house in Evanston, they had dug the seat belts from behind the seat and put them on. That was a miracle since my brother never used those seat belts, which made finding the seat belts even more difficult. Even at 14 and 16, those boys learned to think through the task, recognize the hazards, assess the risk, control the hazards by finding and putting on their seat belts, and obviously learned at a very young age to keep safety first in all tasks. Putting their seat belts became a habit, and even in their DNA. Their parents unknowingly went through the 3 C's of safety: to converse, correct, and commend. Just as a good parent, a good supervisor will converse with their crew and assess the risk every day. Corrections will then be made. And always, a great supervisor will commend those who are working safely and putting safety first. Fast forward 34 years. Andy has a master's in psychology. Howard currently is a doctor of physical therapy and runs a very successful physical therapy practice in Provo. As a side note, Howard was the Utah 5A shot put champion and was able to play varsity football at Mountain View High School, in Orem, and Snow College. In retrospect, if these young boys had not been in the habit of putting on their seat belts and had been permanently injured or even died, what events or activities would they have missed in their lives? Because of injury or even death, what events or activities would you or I miss? The birth of a child or a grandchild, a child's first day of school, hikes, ball games, recitals, birthdays, graduations, recreation with family and friends, motorcycle rides, horseback riding, weddings, or walking your daughter down the aisle. Remember to keep safety first from the time you wake up until you put your head on the pillow at night. Take personal responsibility and be safe for those you care the most about. Thank you.